All right. And I'm back. I'm back. Because, hey guys, thank you so much for coming, everybody. Welcome. Oh, I need to clean my lens, right? Something is wrong here. Jeez. What the hell? I waited a little bit for all of you guys to come because today we unclutter. We will unclutter the mystery that's Daniel. Because Daniel has been I always have to close my glass sliding door first. First things first. Welcome, you guys. Thank you for coming. This is, by the way, oh, wow. Hey, I wasn't prepared for this. Wow. You know what? Sometimes the best thing for me to do is pay zero attention to anything, because otherwise I spend so much time listening to things and then realizing I paid attention to something that I shouldn't have. So right now, the best thing for me really to do is focus on a couple of channels. Share information with people who are very interested in figuring out what happened. And that's really what I want everybody to remember. We need to figure out what happened, right? It doesn't help when we have too many people express too many thoughts. We need to get back to the basics. Hey, Laurie, Kathy. We have to also limit ourselves. We have to limit whom we listen to. Because I try S Hunter is amazing. That channel is a channel that I can truly, where I can say, watch it, because they edit out the statements that hit them and that they think are significant and match it up with inconsistencies. And it doesn't get much better than that. It's a lot better actually for me to wait for what Hunter as true crime puts together than me myself listening to a 2-hour interview and taking 10 hours to analyze it, right? Because he's already doing a lot of the work, meaning filtering out certain parts of these interviews that don't really match up with older ones or other statements or facts for that matter. So if you want to waste your time on anything, waste your time on all of the videos and then tell me what you noticed, right? With the timeline, and tell me, okay, because there are quite a few interviews he's put together. And the best thing is only to focus on the facts that are proven and the statements that people with potentially guilty knowledge have. It beats all of the other videos with people thinking about something and then going back into their own personal life. And I do this at the end of my presentations usually, that I talk about whatever's on our minds. And that's how I keep it. So I don't know what, everybody else is doing. Doesn't really matter. The things I usually watch are programs with analysts that care about the truth. Not everybody cares about the truth. There are really two types of people. There are those that are comfortable in their jobs and they do good enough of a job to keep things going, right? Okay, they got a degree. Okay, now I can work. Okay, now I got this job. Okay. Doesn't matter if it's science, if it's criminal investigation, doesn't matter what field it is. And then there are the restless ones who want to know more. They realize there is more here, but I'm not exactly sure what it is. And many times people will tell you, oh, you think too much, you make a good living, and other people don't know either. I cannot compare myself to that. When I do that, I get really down and really empty and really, oh God, is that life? Does that have to continue where I need to accept that there are no answers, because the answers are in there. The answers are always right in front of us. Even when everybody else tells us it's a mystery. And you know what? One of the most alarming things is when somebody like Daniel says it's a mystery. Somebody who was there. Of course, he's doing it in order to get people to give up on their own brains. Hey, what did you hear? No. Oh, you're just hearing things. It doesn't work like that, people. It works like that maybe in the world of entertainment or infotainment, as I call it. And to me, infotainment is worse than entertainment. I can deal with entertainment if it's funny, if it's good, and I can deal with information. But when you mix the two together, it gets very, very dangerous, because the lines get so blurred, and all of a sudden you're like, dude, I still don't know anything. What did I just watch? You know what I mean? So if anything, here we can actually also sort of help each other unclutter, not just uncluttering the statements from Daniel Martel. Crime So now we are going to move into an area where we are going to really, really get into it, guys. And sometimes you got to get too deep into it. Yep. There is no end. There is no limit to how deep we must get. There's no limit, people. No limit. Once we get deeper, it doesn't stop there until we figure out exactly what happened. What is going on? What is going on? Oops. Let me see this. So what else is new? Is there anything that I may have missed? Because on purpose, I didn't pay attention to anything, guys. Not a thing. Not a thing. Five months ago, when Malaya said, last night was one of the worst nights, all of a sudden, 5 months later, it starts to sink in, and people actually ask me, hey, did you hear what Malaya said? Yeah, I pointed it out 5 months ago. It's still there. You see, what happens usually is that people pay attention to all kind of stuff, and then they come back to the basics. But you see, we can skip the steps of confusion. And needless to say, teamwork is everything, because nobody has time to do it all. Hey, Diesel. Hey, Krista. Thank you guys for showing up. It's always been there. Oh, good question. Between truthful and past, there is a level where you realize the difference between the control questions. When you tell the lies, how it registers, and when you tell the truth is enormous. In some people, the difference is very slight in the results of the test. It means the needle doesn't swing too far. For example, somebody like Daniel, maybe, who is very stressed and very nervous, as a baseline, there the difference between the questions that he answers truthfully and deceptively can be quite slight, if you will. Meaning, there are often areas where, you have to go by what the book says. Okay, this number means past. It's in the realm of past. Okay, within this fluctuation, you can say, within a certain needle position, if you will, you can say, well, inconclusive. And the other one, truthful, deceptive. So there can be some very, very clear results, extremely clear, where you can also look already at the control questions, the ones that are deceptive and the ones that are truthful, and you see a huge discrepancy in where the needle goes. And it's easy to detect, okay, this guy passed. Okay, this question, deceptive. This one's truthful. But then you have always the grayer areas. And then you need to decide, is it a passed, or is it inconclusive, or is it a failed? And in the case of Janie, for example, the heart problems, when there is irregularity in your heartbeat or in your system that shows up, that the machines detect, because they detect changes within you, pattern changes, physical pattern changes, slight ones, but they detect them. And so within the control question area, that time you already figure out what is the guy's baseline for lying, what is his baseline for telling the truth. And in some persons' cases, it's very, very clear. And you can be confident to say he's truthful right here. But a lot of times you can't. You just got to go by the book and say, okay, Let's look at the numbers. Well, according to the book, this is within the realm of past. And it's like with any other job, it passes. Good enough, right? Now, mind you, you can have a lot of gray areas that people will turn into black or white, but they're still gray. They're like, okay, this is light gray right now, but let's make this white because it's good enough for me. Well, people pass, guilty people pass all the time. And I know of a couple of cases where innocent people actually failed the polygraph, but the polygrapher was usually not the best of the best. And they don't care many times. There's a lot of indifference. See, I don't know what fields you guys work in, but I'm pretty sure all of you can tell me about other employees who are pretty indifferent about things and make mistakes all the time. And it doesn't matter how high up the ladder you go. People like that are always going to be around. And I think Paul Palango did a great job making us realize that just because the RCMP, has royal in its name and is, has a great reputation on paper, maybe, the reality behind the scenes can be very, very different. And yes, they have great people working for them, probably. But who do they put on the case? The best of the best? They always have people that they drag along and that don't really know necessarily what they're doing. Charmaine thought it was Daniel yesterday. That's a new one. What did Charmaine say about Daniel? What he did? A lot of things, see, what you cannot really find official answers to. You just have to have been there and have seen a daily how work is really, what's really happening behind the scenes. And once you know, you cannot unknow, right? You become skeptical immediately. When you look at police documents, you start analyzing to realize, what are they sure about? What are they not sure about? But most people are satisfied with guesses. Okay, passed, job done. I can go home now. Waist deep in water. Yeah, remember he talked about this on my channel, right? I asked, where were you waist deep in water? But the answer was interesting. Let me look at it right now. Because there's always more, people. There's always more. Always. And one of you has graciously screenshotted. They hate my family, not diving any deeper. That's what he said about Juan. They hate my family. And again, a deep diving reference. Interesting, right? Some things are pretty funny, actually. Okay, they hate your family. Got it, dude. Brad has a 5-speed truck. What does that mean, man? What does that mean? Yeah, these are the answers from Daniel on my channel. And there was something about waist deep in water. You see, I've taken my time to ask whatever I could think of. Other than what I already had asked. Because sometimes he takes his time and then gives it, takes his time, really takes his time. Beside the house, the waist deep water is 4 inches deep. It's not spring anymore. Really? What does that mean? So you mean in spring it was higher, it was waist deep? Now it's only 4 inches? That's interesting, right? Telling us, oh, okay, don't go there now because now it's not like it used to be. Well, how deep was it before? You see? I'm gonna start reading your comments from the beginning this time to make sure I don't miss something, because some of you, you know what? I sleep when I sleep. I went to the gym and then I slept a few hours. That's what I like, actually, to like naturally be exhausted, and doesn't matter what time. Yeah, whatever kicks your ass, man. And I think it's good for me to, wake up physically, be physically exhausted, and it leads to a healthier lifestyle. Meredith pointed this out. This is a good one. I should just show you guys his comments right now on the screen. The way he talks about Malaya in public and then parks right next to her. And the statement really cracked me up when he was telling us that sometimes there's no other place to park, but he didn't tell us that day there was no other place to park. So it's really comedic at times, especially when you recognize a certain pattern, a pattern of avoidance, right? Because the patterns that we have that show up again and again and again, and they show up through all areas of our lives. The way you do anything is the way you do everything. Well, yes and no. The way you approach anything is the way that you do approach everything. There is a certain way that we handle things. And when that changes, then we have to be on high alert. Even something that seems very small, like Janie, every Friday, she's a hermit, but every Friday she goes to town with her brother and gets whatever she needs for the week, so she doesn't have to leave her property. That's what they do out in the boonies, right? They don't have a 7-Eleven next door. So if you don't buy cigarettes on Fridays, you got to bum them off of somebody. You know what I mean? Or go back into town for 20 minutes. I don't know how far they drive. But uncluttering, Daniel, that's really a thing that I love it when I get brand new statements, people. Or when I realize there are some older ones that I have overlooked. So for me, being glued to statements from the people that are interesting, which includes Earl Martell. The first thing I do when I get up, I look at Earl's Facebook, man, to see if I find some other, because he deletes these things so quickly. If you see something from Earl or anywhere, by the way, people, every time, if you spend your time on certain channels that, well, here's the thing. Rather than saying, you know what, Daniel was chatting on Drunk Turkey. The last one, yeah, go into the chat. Oh, okay. Well, I have a better idea. If there's something that stands out to you, don't think. Immediately take a screenshot and send it to me. Immediately. Don't hesitate. Don't wonder if it's important or not. If you are ever in doubt if something is important or not, there is a good chance it might be. So then we have the opportunity. No, my day, you know what? When I have time and I get into something, I really get into it. And I don't care if it's in the middle of the night. I wake up and I present something. Oh, interesting. Daniel said he didn't touch any of Malaya's things in case the RCMP wanted it for evidence. I kept asking him what he meant by evidence. He wouldn't answer. Right. And what about the 2 shirts he said she stole? You see, even that, we had gotten into it before, but not enough. Even though we dive very deeply into things, it's still not deep enough. This is only an introduction to what you do as an analyst. Because you don't stop. You don't care what day of the night, what time of night or day it is. You keep going as long as there's more information you can get to. That's a good question. If Daniel ever shows up or if you see him anywhere, was one of the shirts purple? And you know what? Lilianka, whatever answer he gives you, take a screenshot immediately. I don't care if you spend time on it, if you even think about the answer, if you think about anything. Take the screenshot, visit it later, okay? Because sometimes when he is there, you are not necessarily in the mood to take a lot of time to analyze. Sometimes the time is right and sometimes the time is not. Sometimes you are not there because you have other things on your mind and you cannot think clearly. And then all of a sudden, you're by yourself, you're relaxed, you start thinking about things and it comes so clear to you. Take the screenshots, people. Take them immediately. Send them to me. It really helps. Then I don't have to listen to, whatever doesn't really matter. I like the statements from people who know. Statements from people who only guess around? No, that doesn't help me at all. Even if I analyze them, even if I realize, they're being deceptive. Yeah, Sharon, I mean, I'm doing my part. But unfortunately, there's no getting through to RCMP right now. Some of you have opened up lines of communication before, where if I didn't communicate directly, I could communicate through some of you to them. And that worked for a while. But then a couple of months ago, they shut off. Jenny, look me up on Facebook. Same name, same profile picture. Not a lot of people have my last name or my name. So you're going to find me immediately. Facebook is the best thing for screenshots, even voice messages. Keep them short, to the point. That helps me during the day. Even though I may not have time, when I am with people and taking my daughter places and so on, I don't always, look at the phone and read long things. But if there's a voicemail, click, I can listen to it throughout the day. And then I realize there's more. Then I spend the time and then I zoom right in. But don't let anything waste. Yeah, my Facebook is my favorite part of Facebook is actually, you know what, ever since Facebook came along, I stopped using email the way I used to, And at one point, I actually deleted the Facebook app, but I kept the Messenger on. I hate it when I meet people and it's like, oh, what do you have? You have WhatsApp, you have Telegram, you have, oh no, I don't have this. What about such and such? I'm like, okay, it's not so difficult. Communicate wherever it's easy. You know what I mean? Everybody has Facebook or Instagram. I communicate on Instagram quite a bit with my family, sending voice messages off and on throughout the week. So Gmail, yeah, it's great, but it requires reading. And sometimes, I like it when I have something playing in the background while I'm reading something that I need to read. And I always, work on more efficient ways to absorb and filter as much information I can get throughout the day. But the thing is that when it comes to the polygraph, I believe the wrong questions were asked. So when somebody says, I passed the polygraph, that doesn't tell me anything. What polygraph? What were the questions? Let me see the printout. Let me see the control questions. Okay, let me see. Was I gone? Okay. Show me the polygraph printout. Then I am also able to tell a lot more. When I see the printout, I look at the control question results, the one where they tell you to lie, and the one where you are being truthful. I can see where the needle hit. I can see the variance. And then I can look at the rest of your questions. Then I can do myself. I can circle, okay, this one is kind of in the middle. I wonder what's up with that. And then I look at the question. And then I immediately remember statements related to the subject of this particular question. Then I know where to dive deeper into it. But a lot of people, a lot of the polygraphers, they will just say, okay, well, here's my manual and it says that 3.0 is passed and that's it. Game over. No, there are a lot of gray areas, people, and people learn how to lie. And the more time goes by, the easier it can become to lie. Especially if you've been lying about the same thing for weeks, you become desensitized. And then you mix in the stress factor. And he said, I was extremely nervous. That's exactly what the polygraph should measure. being nervous. And then you say, for what reason? What was the question? So I ignore these things unless I can get a little bit more information about it. And so far, when you look at the work the RCMP has done, I don't have any faith in the dog handler or the polygrapher, especially the dog handler didn't go to Earl's house and didn't take the dog to the ATV, from what I understand. So what do I care about the rest? Oh yeah, which questions exactly? Well, Janie was inconclusive. Yeah. And you know what? Yeah, a heart can... Okay, so I have my own thoughts about that as well. Didn't she tell them immediately she had a heart condition? Or did she first fail a certain question? I don't know. There's too much that's redacted. And you know what's crazy also? That, what did she say? She wanted to do it again immediately? Like, wait, maybe I'll pass now. Let me try again. That's not how it works, dude. The strong desire to prove yourself as truthful also has to be noted. Because if you take a polygraph, you have a heart condition, and they say, well, it's inconclusive. Well, okay, I did my job, okay? You don't say, let me try again. Let me try to pass again. Let me try to pass now. I can do it. I can do it, coach. Put me in. This is not a competition. Polygraph is not a competition. It's not a challenge. It's a stepping stone to help the police move into the right direction. You tell law enforcement says, we need some help here. We need some indicators. We don't know what's what and who's who. So, but Janie took her polygraph. She took it. Despite her heart condition, they should have said, no, we cannot do it. You're not going to be available. I mean, you're not going to be able to do it. Yeah, she has a heart condition, but she's raking the driveway all night. There's so many contradictions with Janie, with all three of them. Absolute insanity, people. This is not normal. So the problem is, the more we get to know these guys, there's a danger of normalizing. And then we go back to the older statements and realize, you know what? This stands out. Thank you, Covert. Yeah. Everything is wrong with her. Everything physically but she's raking all freaking night. Dude, this is why I like Janie Has a Rake. That song, I mean, can keep in mind that it can remind us, listen, you know, this is not normal. And I don't care if there is nothing else. I want to know why Janie was raking in the middle of the night in the pitch black dark. And she even said people drove by at night to make videos to show just how pitch black dark it was. That in itself, guys, that was a freaking hammer, dude. I pointed this out when the moment I listened to it while I think I was pre-recording a video. And I figured, you know what? Let me use it as a training tool, at least in terms of showing people how I approach statements. I don't know what to expect. And I love it when I don't really know what to expect. Because it hits me when it hits me. And then I can point it out to you. Pay attention to this. I may be live right now, or I may be pre-recording right now. Okay, thank you so much, Jenny. I will check it out in a minute. You see, the beauty of these lives is the moment I do them, that's when I get so much important information. And now I'm also checking my spam filter on Facebook. Okay, let me see. Oh, you mean the screenshots of when he was in my chat? I see them. Oh, that's pretty good. Wow. You took a lot of those. Oh my God. Wow, guys. I have to sort. Oh my gosh. Wow. Can I post them like this, or do I need to crop something so I don't dox you? Ask whatever is on your minds, people, right? Just don't tell me what other people think. Don't tell me what other people think. And you know why? Because if you can't explain it in your own words, chances are it's not that important, right? Explain to me why something is important to you. Why you pay attention to something. That's what I'm interested in, guys. Wow, I have to 25, 45. How many pictures do I have? Wow. This is all unexpected, people. All unexpected. The best things happen to me when I don't expect them. You know what? I may have to do this a little bit later. Oh, let me start now. This is Daniel Overload. And I missed a lot of this when I was doing my live, by the way. I gotten the documents the other day, and it was like I don't know how many pages, 80. Yeah, I'm downloading everything right now. It'll take me a couple minutes. So let me know what else is new. What else is happening, people? What have I missed? I know I missed a lot, but most of it is not important. So I'm looking at the needles in the haystacks. I'm looking at the pearls in the pyres. I'm looking for anything that later on, most people will say, oh, I don't know, I missed it, you know, I kind of like, it was strange, but I don't know what to make of it. But then I ignored it, and then I figured maybe it's not important. Well, let's decide together what's important and what isn't. What did Diesel say? Daniel, overload might be becoming a medical condition. Oh, I hope not. When I'm in my gym, I don't think about, you know, I watch stupid movies on Netflix and it clears my mind right up. Wow, I got too much stuff now. That's cool. But you know what? I still want to go back to this video. The Hunter S True Crime one. That one is good. So this is how people can help when they put together important information. That is probably the most important thing that anybody can do to you know, say, here's something that I think may be important. Let me bring it to your attention. And if it turns out to be nothing, well, we'll still do better than most people, right? Because we don't habitually drag things out. We say, okay, there's nothing really important here. Let's skip this. And here's why I'm skipping it. Okay, case closed. Let's move on. Moving on is a very important skill to have. That we don't get stuck. Oh my God, I'm downloading like 80, what is it, 80 images of Daniel on my chat. This is really good. And I don't know exactly, you see, I'm doing it now because I will get back to it. And it enables me to really, okay, I got it downloaded now. Cool. Too easy, dudes. But where was I the last time? Okay, I took I don't remember exactly where.
What I remember, the kids were sleeping, but when you're looking...
Well, okay, this is a rehash, of course, from the last time. Where did I stop the last time, man? Jeez.
Back in time,
partner, Daniel.
Okay.
Drifting in and out of sleep.
And
now it gets to Malaya, right?
What happened was we woke up, I heard them playing in the next...
Yeah, do I need to rehash this because I already did it 5 months ago? You see, I'm worried about skipping important parts, even though I already spoke about them. Because I'm worried about the people who are new to my channel and didn't watch it back then. Because there's a good possibility that if I don't point it out, they may think there's nothing here. But what happened is a very bad way to start any statement. Very, very bad. That's storytelling right there. What happened was, once upon a time, or what was the thing I recently saw? Something else that I thought was pretty good. Yeah, it's harder to find information now on my laptop. I thought this was cool. Fairy tales used to start with once upon a time. Today, fairy tales begin with according to experts. What happened was, why do you need to tell me that what you're about to say is what happened? Unless it really didn't, at least not the way that you are trying to present it to me. What happened was, well, you should just tell me what happened. And then you don't need to tell me that it happened. Just tell the truth. Just speak. The truth is, what happened was, to be honest with you, all of the stuff. When something unnecessary is said, pay attention and don't let it slide. And it's interesting to see this picture from Malaya, by the way. Because this picture, I guess, was taken either right before or right after she gave that one and only interview. And more from her. And what for anybody to have recorded any conversation with her. And I do believe there's something very serious on her mind about what had happened the night before. Very seriously. This is a breaking point image, man. This is when somebody realizes that something needs to change in life. Jack was a curious little boy. Yep, that's what Janie said. It's very interesting to see her like that, you know, because when she was giving her interview, of course, she was doing a performance. What happened was, she's telling us a story. I agree, she looks like she's been crying and in deep thoughts too. Well, let's just say that after 3 years or 2 years of chaos, she finally saw clear enough to leave and made the decision. Yeah, she knows what happened to Jack and Lilly. And she's trying to absorb it all and unclutter. It's a picture can say 1,000 words, and this one does. So part of the emotions that she presented to us were real. She didn't wish for this to happen. Well, I think she did, Cassie. I think it's sort of like the Ramseys that tried to keep Burke. It's sort of like the McCains trying to keep their other 2 children. They wrote off the victims and then figured we cannot talk about it because I want to raise my remaining children. Something like that. Those are only my thoughts, people, but hey, A-Balance. So here she is probably trying to process quite a lot of things that had taken place that she had given up control over completely. She let Daniel run her life. Janie, Daniel, everybody ran her life for her for a very long time. And she knows what happened to her 2 children. This was either right before or right after the only interview she gave. She did her performance. She delivered her script. And to this day, she's sticking with it. The only thing she cares about now is Meadow. And she wrote off Jack and Lilly as a loss. Never for the truth to come out. Very different pattern, but that's her baseline. Not like Daniel, talking up a storm, bringing in Durwood. No, that was not her plan to bring in a guy like Durwood at all. That's not her style, people. She just closes off. Oh, why she reported Belinda to the RCMP? Well, I think it's pretty obvious, because she doesn't want somebody to get close to the truth. She doesn't want to answer any more questions. So anybody holding her feet to the fire, she will go on the attack. You know? The RCMP is not interested in Belinda looking deeper into things, the CPS and everything. So,
this room beside us, and I was drifting in and out of sleep.
And then about 20 minutes passed, and then when I woke up, Malaya was right beside me. She was still asleep. And I said, I don't hear Lilly and Jack.
And the next thing we knew, the room, like, it was quiet, and we get up and
the next thing we knew, the room, like, it was quiet. Yeah. Life left the room. The next thing we knew there's unity with Daniel here. We knew. Don't tell me what Daniel knew. Why don't you tell me what you knew? This is perfect scripting, guys. They agreed upon it, and it's far away from the truth. This is when two people come up with a script and make that script replace the actual events. She needs to mention Daniel, this unity. She needs him to back her up. We knew. She is not telling you what she experienced, what she saw, and what she heard. She is reciting what was agreed upon, what they both agreed on saying from now on. And she's sticking to it. She is that type that will completely close up and stick to it. And she has no emotions. I mean, it's all internal. Her emotions are internal. She doesn't show her emotions. Daniel does. The slightest thing, somebody says something, immediately he jumps on it. She's the complete opposite. There's no reason to feel bad for her. I agree, Jenny. There's no reason for that. But I do believe she was in very deep thought, trying to process something very traumatic.
I tell him.
And again, present tense, we get up and I tell him, this is present tense. This indicates this is not from memory. This is a script right now. She's living this right now. She's making it up on the go, or she is reciting it on the go, something that didn't take place.
My partner, Daniel, I tell him, do you hear the kids? And he says, no.
And he says no, still present tense.
Get up instantly. We're looking outside. We're looking everywhere, yelling for them. And I
present tense.
Instantly just call 911.
I woke up when Malaya woke me up. I'm pretty sure it was her who woke me up because we both.
Yeah, again, inconsistencies. I thought you're the one who said, you see, when he got angry with Malaya, he said, oh my God, I mean, this is so insane, dudes. This is really insane.
Kind of like woke up at the same time.
And now it's at the same time, right? She said she told you, and you said you told her. And all of a sudden, now it's damage control time. And he says, well, I guess we woke up the same time, so we don't really know who said what, but the thing is, all of a sudden, before, next thing we knew, the room was quiet. And this is very sensitive, people. The room was quiet. How can the room do something or be something? The next thing we knew, the room, like it was quiet. And this is a type of language that is often used when you're dealing with death. Suddenly there was no more noise. Were you in bed on your phone and Daniel went wild in there? And all of a sudden there was no more noise? Suddenly the only thing that you heard was silence? All of a sudden, there was a ton of noise before, I believe. A ton of noise. And all of a sudden, there was zero noise. And when somebody says the next thing we knew, she doesn't say the next thing I knew, the next thing we knew. She still tries to keep the script alive. But here she says, the room, it was quiet. The next thing we knew, there is past tense here. So here I believe she has spoken from experiential memory. Even though she inserts Daniel into it, not telling us what she knew, but what they knew. But there was a significant moment that took place. And they're skipping time and events. We're saying the next thing we knew. No, that means there was a lot in between what happened before and what you're about to tell us. The room, like it was quiet. That's avoidance. That's like passive language. The room being quiet. Were the children quiet? Was there silence? Was there a huge noise, arguing, big ruckus, and all of a sudden the absence of any sound indicating death? This is a very significant sentence right here, people. And remember what I said, the patterns change. She started talking about everything in present tense. That's the script part, but this particular part is past tense. And this is something that stuck to her mind. I believe there was a lot of noise, and all of a sudden, the noise was gone. And she's blaming the room for it. The room didn't do anything. The room isn't loud. The room doesn't talk. The room doesn't shut up. No, Jack and Lilly did. The end of Jack and Lilly being able to speak is, in my opinion, what this may indicate. At one point at the night, be it that it was death or that, this is extremely significant, guys. Be sensitive to every single change in patterns. Every change. Is she using past tense? When is she using past tense? When it actually something happened that is at least very, very similar. Don't let it be another 5 months for this to surface.
My partner, Daniel, I tell him, do you hear the kids? And
now it's back to present tense. I tell him, do you hear the kids?
He says, no.
And not I asked him if he heard the kids. I tell him, do you hear the kids? Because it's a script. And he says no. Present tense. Script.
No. And we get up instantly. We're looking outside. We're looking everywhere. Yelling.
Still present tense, people.
Yelling for them. And I instantly just call 911.
Didn't happen. You didn't instantly call 911. This was a long time in the making. When are we supposed to call? Okay, 6:17, 6:18. I have to call the kids sick so nobody in school wonders what happened. Nobody suspects us. Done. Then they probably sit down together and continue working on the script. And sometime 8:28, she feels the need to call her mother to reach out to her because she doesn't know what to do now. So she's reaching out to her mom.
I woke up when Malaya woke me up. I'm pretty sure it was her who woke me up because we both kind of like woke up.
I'm pretty sure it was her who woke me up. What else woke you up, dude? I'm pretty sure. Yeah, right. This qualifier doesn't sit well with me at all. No, I don't believe she woke you. I believe you were awake.
At the same time. And I remember her saying,
what contradiction is this, dude? What the hell? I woke up when Malaya
woke me up. I'm pretty sure it was her who woke me up.
He says it twice. When Malaya.
Call 911.
Listen.
I woke up when Malaya woke me up.
So when he doubles down on something, he's trying to convince you. He's moving to script, and he does it so rapidly that he feels the need to tell you something that wasn't. The words can stand on their own, so he doubles down on them.
I'm pretty sure it was her who woke me up because...
I'm pretty sure now he feels the need to qualify because it's BS. So he needs to qualify it in order to have some internal balance when he's trying to keep the story straight. And he feels the need to explain why he's pretty sure it was her who woke him up. Because
we both kind of like woke up at the same time.
Oh, that's different from saying she woke you up. That's a contradiction right there. You see, I can do this forever. The more I listen, the more I hear. He has a pattern of doubling down, Brandy. He had it many times. Friday morning, remember that? But only when he feels a need to convince, because he's straying away from the actual events. That's when he feels a need to convince us that something took place when it hadn't taken place.
And
so this is a sensitive area right here, people. Because they were both awake.
I remember her saying, as it says in the documents, she said,
as it says in the documents. You see, the documents were not there. You were there. Why do you need the documents? The documents only state what you stated, and Malaya stated. But he feels the need to have the documents back him up. Because what he's saying to you cannot stand on its own.
I don't hear them. I think she woke me up, right? We kind of woke up at the same time.
I think she woke me up, right? He's asking, right? How does drunk turkey know? Why are you asking him? We kind of woke up at the same. Look how iffy he is here, man. This is, you see, Daniel, it comes easy for him to bullshit. But he still needs to feel like he's being believed. And this is complete absurdity. This is, for the second time, you see, he's doubling down on the previously deceptive statement. Because he realizes, I didn't do too well, did I? So now he says, right? He's asking drunk turkey. Really? How does he know? What is kind of woke up at the same time? No, man. You don't kind of wake up. You wake up or you don't wake up. But that's exactly what helps him to give us the illusion of I was asleep, but I wasn't. This I know, but this I don't know. Always being able to have an alibi and say, well, at this moment I wasn't awake.
But I really.
And he's stooping, delighting. At this moment, he's laughing, man. And that can happen if you have to repeat yourself again and again. That's why police always asks, the same questions again. They want to see if the story changes, if your reaction changes, if something changes. And the more you tell the same lie, there can come a point where you laugh at your own lie and be like, oh, okay, same bullshit again. Okay, you asked for it.
Don't know.
I really don't know. I. Also, his pattern, when he stutters, there's a reason for that. And he doesn't say, I don't know, I really don't know. Right. Like Janie really had no pictures of her grandchildren, except she did have a whole bunch.
First thing I do when I wake up is...
And by the way, different people have different forms of duper's delight. We saw Katie Proudfoot's. He expresses stooping delight in a different manner. And when he gave the interview about the polygraph with Kayla, that was hardcore duping delight, in my opinion. He was beaming.
I mean, Malaya's right beside me.
I mean, Malaya's doubling down right beside me. Okay. Present tense.
She says, you.
And she says, present tense. Now he can only move into a script. He switches from past to present tense, people. Notice. You see, we can run through these interviews real quickly, get nothing out of it. But we can also revisit them. And all of a sudden, it really hits us. And it's all right there. And the rules apply always. No matter how much of a show they try to build around it. The actual statements are what matters, people.
Like hear the kids.
Do you like hear the kids? You, double down on you.
And then I listen for a few seconds.
Still present tense. I listen. 3 times listen. Really?
Seconds. He said, no, I don't hear them.
I said, no, I don't hear them.
So first thing I do is when I don't hear them, I get up and I, get
present tense.
Get dressed.
Present tense, people. Present tense. He switched from past tense to present tense because now, and look, he's looking up into the air because he's now no longer looking at the camera. He's not saying, right, DT, right. All of a sudden, now it is 100% script.
You know.
No, DT doesn't know. You know. Twice he says, He wants approval because a script, he is now very far removed from the actual event. And the fact that he's talking in present tense only makes it even clearer. The pattern changes in Daniel are very, very obvious. So for me, it is very important at all times when I listen that I also have the closed caption going. And having it written out in front of you is a huge help to not miss anything. Yeah, you see, fast talking Daniel all of a sudden changes the pattern of speaking, and he's taking his time and he's thinking. He has to think about this. He has to think about, what am I going to say next that will not bite me back? Thank you, Linda.
Her make her way out to the kitchen.
And her make our way out of the kid to the kid. Our way out. Did he really say our way out?
You know, and me and her make our way out to the.
Me and her make our way out. There is unity here. Our way. He doesn't speak for himself. Our way out. This is a script they came up with together. And he needs her. He needs her there. He cannot stand on his own and say what he did. Because what he did, what he wants to, what he did, he didn't. What he wants you to think he did not do that. So he cannot linguistically commit to that. Only when he includes her. Because him and her together came up with the script. To make our way to the
kitchen.
To the kitchen. The sensitive kitchen, people.
I jumped straight up out of bed. Silence is never a good thing when you have kids.
Silence is never a good thing when you have kids. Really? I think when my kids are asleep, I'm pretty much like, cool, man. I can hear myself think now. Silence is never a good thing. Well, he is thinking about a certain event when silence was deadly. And he wants to normalize the deadly silence by telling us silence is not a good thing. It wasn't a good thing here, but it's no big deal because it's never a good thing when you have kids. Sometimes silence is a good thing. But you see, he wants to explain. Thank you. He wants to explain why it would be normal for the deadly silence to be nothing that we should pay too much attention to. He is minimizing here. The same when Malaya says, as a mother, as a mother, as a mother. No, we want you to tell us what you think. Not as a mother, you always think the worst. Why are you trying to normalize what you have experienced that's anything but normal?
Because he knows they're getting into something.
Because you know, no, I don't, they're getting into something. No, sometimes kids are just quiet and they sit down and draw something. Or they're in, or they're watching something on TV. Supposedly there was a TV on anyways that morning on Friday, right? Didn't you try to say this to us? So why was silence so unusual? Because I think it happened the night before and there was huge noise and all of a sudden dead silence, guys. I hope that's what it is, Brandy. Yeah, I hope they're going to. But again, you know what I said before? Nothing may come out of it, but if it does, it's probably because Daniel will leak something. I think he's forcing himself not to talk too much right now. In the bedroom, in their bedroom, not in the... They didn't put on the TV for the kids?
And then we noticed the boots were gone. We went out.
Oh, now we noticed the boots. Remember Amy Bradley? The cigarettes and the lighter were gone. What the father talked about, the cigarettes and the lighter. And focus on items. I believe he took the boots when he got rid of them. That's why the boots are so fresh on his mind.
Side, made our way into the backyard. We didn't see them anywhere.
Made our way into the backyard. We didn't see them anywhere. Anywhere also, people. It's better to say, we didn't see them, so we kept walking and walking.
And Melania said, should have gone one.
I believe that's what she said the night before, possibly. Maybe something happened to Jack.
And I said, well, just wait 1 second.
So is that what happened the night before, that Jack gotten into something? And Malaya said instinctively, we should call 911. And you said, no, I don't want police here. This is a possibility. It's a possibility based on his language, the rustling, the chair. They're getting into something. Remember this. They're getting into something. What did they get into? What did Jack get into?
And then we noticed the boots were gone. We went outside.
We noticed. Why we? Because you knew the boots were gone a long time before that, because you took them, in my opinion. That's why he needs to bring Malaya in. And that's why when Malaya left him, there was such a void. He struggled so much to keep the script going without her by his side. That's why he was angry. He felt abandoned. You mean I have to be left to be the one presenting this nonsense and you're not here to back me up? I sound ridiculous because I have to do it on my own and you're not here to tell everybody, Daniel's right. I was there. I heard it. I'm his alibi and he's mine.
Made our way into the backyard. We didn't see them anywhere. And Melania said, should I call 911? And I said, well, just wait 1 second.
Yeah, I do believe that happened. He said, and I said, past tense. I believe that happened. That could have happened at one point. I believe in this possibility that Jack was an accident. And he didn't want police to come. If that's what taken place. If Jack had gotten into a substance and wasn't able to breathe or something like that. It's a possibility we need to consider, guys. And Lilly screaming. Remember, he was a curious little boy, and with Lilly, she was always screaming. These are two sets of victim blaming introduced by Janie. And when they blame a victim, when they talk negatively about a missing child, they will often tell you why, in their opinion, the kids went missing. Same as Orrin and Orson West. His father, his adoptive father said, they are rambunctious. They're going to be rambunctious. Why are they missing? Well, in his opinion, because they're rambunctious and put it on themselves. It's their fault that he did what he did to them. That's how he eases his mind when he faces the public. You don't talk about your missing children as rambunctious. You look at them as needy, helpless, beautiful, perfect children, even if they were not perfect. Victim blaming is huge, a huge indicator that you had something to do with it, that you don't like them. That Jack, his curiosity was the reason something happened, and Lilly, her loud scream was the reason something happened to her, was done to her. It's normalizing an action of somebody whom you're trying to protect. And it can be yourself, it can be your son, it can be whoever. Just wait 1 second. I believe that. And maybe Jack didn't survive because of that, the delay. And again, maybe he needed to get rid of some stuff on his property before he wanted law enforcement there. And maybe if Jack had gotten into a substance, well, whose fault is that? Whose fault is that? Even if they pull up a chair, stand on a chair to get it, even if you elevated it. If a kid reaches it, gets into it, whose fault is that? Who will be held responsible for that? Right?
I ran up in the woods to the kids through there.
Listen to this. I ran up in the woods to the kids, not towards the kids or where I thought the kids were, to the kids through
cabins up in the woods.
I ran up in the woods to the kids, too. It means he reached them. There's a possibility the children were at one point located by the cabins. Why? They were already there, but you had to go back to the house to get what? The boots and the backpacks? See, I pointed this out a couple of months ago, and it's great to bring it back right now. Go in full circle. Leakage, people. That's major leakage. To the kids, through, they have cabins. He didn't want to tell us through what at this moment. But he feels a need to tell us they have cabins up in the woods. So he's trying to sidetrack a little bit from what he was going to say. He's trying to stray because he realized this was going the wrong way. But I do believe the first part, before it stops making sense, is from experiential memory. Ran up in the woods to the kids. It means they were there at that time. He went back to the house. I believe a little after midnight, he went to the room and turned the light on. I believe that's experiential memory. That's why he went after midnight to the kids' room and had to turn on the light to get something that's theirs to remove alongside with them. You see where this is going? This is Daniel's language, not my language. This is not me theorizing or hating on somebody. This is me only looking at what he actually stated. And this is highly significant, guys. Highly significant. So, yes, sometimes we have to take an hour to do a 2-minute statement because there's so much in there. Otherwise, we overlook it.
It's about, I don't know, 100 feet.
Up in the woods. It's about, I don't know, 100?
Feet up in the woods. Ran up there.
Okay.
Ran right back down, so which only took me.
Ran up there, ran right back down. Yeah, I think that happened that night at one point.
Like 30 seconds.
Okay, 100 feet, 30 seconds. Yeah, okay. You were in a rush. You were in a hurry. You were adrenalized, highly adrenalized at that moment.
We made our way outside, got through the...
We, always we. What do you mean? We made our way outside. In that moment, you're supposed to be focused on what you can do, not wait for Malaya, who had marrow on her hip. But everything you mean you did together, you know? No, I don't know. Gut, double down. Gut through.
Fence, and then we're
The fence again. Always the fence.
standing right in front of Mom's RV,
Present tense.
and
Present tense. He's looking up in the air again. He's not looking at him for approval right now. He is thinking about what was that script again? What's my line? What was my line again? Let me make sure I get it straight, because if I stray away from the script, then I have to explain it later. I don't want to do that again. So let me make sure this time I'm going to stick to the script to the T, because I don't want it to bite me back again. Because he realizes now how much of what he says is being examined and held right back, bam, into his face like a mirror. This is you, Daniel. This is what you said. Explain it. He's tired of it. He's tired of explaining. And he's thinking, okay, hold on. Let me hit the brake, emergency brake. Okay, let me slow down. Okay. Ooh, I've been there before, right? Okay, I screwed this one up before. Let me not do that again. Let me take it easy and let me think right now. You see? This is his pattern. He's looking up in the air. He's ignoring everything around him right now because he is going back in time and he's remembering a conversation that he had with Malaya and possibly Janie. What are we going to tell them? What are we going to tell them until the end of time? I can't screw it up now. In front of my mom's RV. And
she asked me, should I call 911?
again,
Right? That's, kind of...
right? Now he's looking at him. He says, ooh, okay, I gave my line. Did I do well? Do you believe me? Should I keep going? Am I on the right track? Yeah, dude. That's, looking for acceptance. Please tell me I'm doing well. And now he's smiling. You know why? He's smiling when he thinks he done well. He was glowing when he talked about his polygraph. He was glowing. I did well. Exactly. The smile is coming when he thinks he done well lying. The duper yes. He's smiling when he lied and thinks he done convincingly and feels like he succeeded. In his favor, exactly. I win. I done very well here, people. Mission accomplished. And that's why he gets so angry after he feels he accomplished the mission, when people point something out to him. He's like, what the fuck you mean? What else you want me to do? I passed. What are you talking about? Why you doubt me? because he already closed this chapter. He already feels like, okay, I'm clear now. I'm in the clear. Except he isn't. Except people still don't believe him. And that's what pisses him off. When law enforcement doesn't pay attention to him, but the people don't let go. That's, kind of what?
Instinctual, you want to do that, right?
Uh-oh, I missed that. Man, I'm spending 2 hours on a 5-minute thing.
Right? That's, kind of instinctual, you want to do that, right?
You want to do that, right? Call 911? Ah, well, maybe you should have done it the night before when Jack got into something. Don't you think so? Don't you think so? Yeah.
Right. Because we don't hear them out in the yard. We never.
And now DT says right, to keep him going. Because we don't hear them out in the yard. Present tense.
Seen them in the house. We don't see it.
We never seen them. What do you mean never? Why never? Never is not appropriate here, people. Never also doesn't say he didn't see them. We never seen them in the house. And now he goes to present tense. We don't see.
In the backyard.
We never seen them, and we don't see them.
I didn't know if Mom was even home or not.
I don't know if Mom was even home or not.
Right? Because I thought she might have went with my Uncle Ron.
Twice, Uncle Ron, my Uncle Ron.
So she's on the phone with 911. I run
Okay.
up to the woods where the cabins are.
Yeah. And I believe the night before you did that.
And look in the cabins, look around the area. Didn't see them. I'm screaming, yelling, Lilly and Jack, Lilly and Jack, Lilly and Jack.
And I was screaming for Lilly and Jack, and all the way out when I was running up to the cabins. And my mother heard me, so she came out and said, what's going on? And I said,
I don't need to point this out anymore, right?
Lilly and Jack are missing.
Came out of the trailer after I heard Daniel, about, I'd say, 10 minutes after I heard him, I come out of the trailer. I opened up the door, was standing here. Malaya was standing. Right here, with Meadow on her hip.
Okay, right where this is the area she raked at night, right? Was Malaya standing there that night also? When Jack and Lilly were removed?
And I come out and I said, what's up? She said, Jack and Lilly are missing.
Jack and Lilly.
I said, how long? She said, about 20 minutes.
Yeah, Lilly came into the room multiple times.
Twice, Lilly.
I mean, me and Malaya and the baby were just in the bedroom.
Uh-huh.
Just in the bedroom, okay. Oh my God, guys, this is really ridiculous because I have to stop every single sentence. But I think so if I'm going to skip a couple of things and go through them faster, don't think I'm missing something or that you should miss something. But this is getting so obvious. I mean, it's been so obvious.
And Lilly came in multiple times, so I seen her that morning.
Multiple times. What's multiple? More than 2, right? Seen her that morning, trying to convince us he saw her that morning.
Morning. And
Morning, twice morning. No, that morning you didn't see her, dude. I don't believe you. I don't believe you saw her that morning. When he doubles down, flag it. inflatable pool and inflatable boyfriend. Yeah. Inflated story, inflated everything. Oh my God, guys, this is so weird. This is so weird. This is so weird because at this point, I shouldn't have to do this. You know that? At this point, 5 months later, I should see the results from the RCMP and be able to compare my analyses to their findings and say, look, we knew this because of this statement. The fact that I'm rehashing this 5 months later is insane. Of course, we know more information now. We detect his pattern easily. But the fact of the matter, as analysts, we are supposed to only assist law enforcement who take our analysis and then investigate based on it. Because it doesn't hold up in court to simply say, here's my analysis and this is what it says. And so jury, please decide. The jury will not get it, most of them, but it will help police to investigate in the right direction. But sometimes analysis is being presented in court and the jury makes a decision based on what they really hear. It just needs to be pointed out to them. But not every jury is created equal. Some have a very low attention span and they want to see physical evidence. What's her name? Darlie something, 30 years ago on death row in Texas. Darlene Routier or something like that, yeah. The analysis is very clear, but it wasn't until the jury saw the video of the silly string that they looked at her. A lot of the physical evidence was ignored, and especially the statements too. Because people couldn't imagine her taking her children's life or her child, you know? But when they saw the video of her with the silly string, all of a sudden, I think Darlie, she killed 2 of her boys, right? And it was one of those, you know, the glass, that the window was broken, but the glass was inside of the house, I mean, outside of the house or something like that. It's a pretty obvious case. Darlie Routier. You can look it up, guys. I will prepare it for the next time. I will have some on that. Let me look. Let me look at Darlie Routier. Okay, I got her prison interview, but this may not be the best.
A few weeks ago, 27
Okay, 911 call. One moment.
I went up back upstairs, and it was probably, 11 o'clock or so after the news.
Wait a minute. Somebody came and they broke in. Oh my God, my babies are dying. Not please help my babies. Oh my God, my babies are dying. She already told us what the result is going to be. She already let us know what they're in the process of, even though they already were dead at the time, I believe. She's already preparing them for what they're going to find.
What's going on, man?
All of a sudden, they're dead. Oh my God, Devin is already dead. Listen to this. Devin is already dead. Already. That means the other one is going to die too. He's already dead. I don't even know who did this. I don't even know who did this. Give me a second. I'm going to get some coffee here. And don't worry, for those of you not familiar with the case, I'm going to play her jailhouse interview in a minute. But as I said before, sometimes it's good not to really know much about a case and simply examine the language. And 911 calls are the best for statement analysis because the person is not reacting to a question, not reacting to an interrogator saying, I know you did it, because they initiate the call and they choose where they start. She said, my babies are dying. She's already telling us. They're going to be dead when you come here. And then she said, they're dead. Oh my God, Devin is already dead. Don't worry, the other one is going to be dead too. That's what this is telling me. I don't even know who did this. This is unnecessary to say because you're not telling us what you saw or any. I don't even know who did this. This is also her trying to convince us she has no idea what happened. This is unnecessary. I don't even know who did this. This is one of the most obvious cases, in my opinion. Let me make sure. I don't even know who did it, Darren. The need to convince us that she had no idea what happened. Not trying to figure out what happened, but interested in painting a picture of somebody who didn't know what had taken place. Who would do this? So that, I believe, is when the husband, Darren, he came down and he was surprised by it too, of course. He didn't have an idea. oh my God. Same like Patsy Ramsey.
Oh my God. Ma'am?
So the husband is in the back and he didn't know what happened.
I need you to calm down and talk to me.
We need help. My children need help.
Eagle?
Darren, I don't know who it was. We gotta find out who it was. No, you gotta save your children's lives first. Let me see. I should really play to you guys. The husband was upstairs with the baby. Yes, they had a third child, a very young one, and the husband was upstairs with a little baby.
Ma'am, listen to me. I need you to. Oh my God. He's like the radio left. Ma'am, I need you to talk to me.
Hang on. Okay, 1 second. This was already highly significant.
Year-old Darlie Routier was convicted of murdering her 5-year-old son Damon and was sentenced to death by lethal injection. But unlike that other notorious mother, Susan Smith, Darlie Routier never confessed. She still insists she's innocent. At her trial, there were no eyewitnesses, no clear motive, and the evidence was entirely circumstantial. Routier's family has rallied around her. Her husband, the murdered boy's father, says the state has sentenced the wrong person to death. Tonight, in her first television interview, Darlie Routier tells Sylvia Chase her story.
So even if both of her boys were murdered, she only got sentenced to death for the murder of one of them. Darlie Routier. Give me a second. This is when you have Wikipedia. It comes in handy. That's her. Is an American woman from Rowlett who was convicted and sentenced to death for the murder of her 5-year-old son Damon. In 1996, she has also been charged with capital murder in the death of her 6-year-old son Devin, who was murdered at the same time as Damon. To date, Routier has not been tried for Devin's murder. That is her. And the silly string video I will show you first, which is what the jury paid attention to. And then they changed their mind.
Just 8 days after the murders, the Routiers celebrated what would have been Devin's 7th birthday at the cemetery. Family members invited a local television news crew to attend.
If you knew Devin and Damon, you would know that they're up in heaven and they're up there having the biggest birthday party that we.
So this was her a week later. The jury was on her side. Oh, everything was going well in the case for her. But this video surfaced and the jury saw her demeanor. And that's when it took a turn. That's what gotten her convicted. This video. When they saw with their own two eyes, it was in Texas.
Could ever imagine. And they wouldn't want us to be down here being sad, even though our hearts are breaking.
Yeah. I mean, this is pretty, not a tear. So this is the crazy thing, that she invited news crews to come along. That's what did her in, people. Not the circumstantial evidence, not the analysis of her statements, but that didn't convince the jury. They couldn't understand, because she was in court very teary-eyed, but when they saw this video, they said something is wrong. Now we can imagine her doing it.
I know that Devin and Damon would want us to be happy.
District Attorney Greg Davis watched the celebration on television.
I was just sickened by what I saw, because it had only been a week since these boys' deaths, and yet we've got a full-blown birthday party out there at the gravesite. And it really struck me as more than curious.
Okay.
In Texas, a housewife has been found guilty of murdering
Close to it as any other person.
Oh, and of course, she had a wound that she likely inflicted on herself, of course, to prove that she was attacked by an intruder.
Against Darlie Routier is far.
You know, she has a little bandage here. Okay, oh no, she slashed herself. Oh, she cut herself too. I forgot about this. Let me see if there's another video. I will go back to the 911 call. This is all too drawn out for me, by the way. This TV presentation, but wait. Here we go.
Devin was always trying to make everybody laugh. He was always doing funny things, making silly faces. Damon was still at the age where he would let me hold him still. Oh, God. He just did so much. I swear I did not murder my children. I swear.
So what did happen that night? Darlie and I discussed it earlier.
What woke you up?
My little boy, Damon. He was pressing on my shoulder and he was saying, "Mommy." I sat straight up when he said that. And I saw the guy starting to walk away from me.
I saw the guy starting to walk away from me. But in the 911 call, I don't even know who did this. Yeah.
Her neck wound is still visible, yet she has no memory of the attack. At trial, even Darlie conceded it would be hard to sleep through it.
I know I didn't sleep through that. I mean, how would anybody sleep through something like that?
But yet you say you don't remember.
But I don't remember.
Right, you don't remember.
Can you imagine waking up out of your sleep?
Not remembering can be huge avoidance, of course. Needless to say.
With a man
Can you imagine waking up out of your sleep with a man?
attacking you?
Well, what do you
So she's asking a question.
think happened then if you can't remember, but you don't think you slept through it?
I think that I tried to fight with a man, and I think that he either knocked me unconscious, or I think that when,
Unconscious.
he slit my throat or whatever, I think I
Slit my throat or whatever. What is or whatever? That's a big deal if somebody slit your throat. You wouldn't say or whatever. Or whatever. He slit your throat. That's what you're trying to convince us of. That's not whatever.
Passed out.
The prosecution made much of Darley's inappropriate behavior. For instance, the first policeman on the scene testified Darley didn't seem concerned about Damon.
He's got his eyes open, and he's trying to breathe.
Look what he's saying. Damon is trying to breathe. His eyes were still open. This guy is more concerned than the mother. Even now, remembering this, it's hard for him to recount what he saw. Look at him.
I told her that she needed to help him, but she just wouldn't help him.
She wouldn't help him.
A lie. There's no other words to use. That's a lie.
She says she comforted Damon.
I told him to hold on. I told him to be strong. And he said, okay, Mommy.
What? He said okay after he's been stabbed and...
He shook his head.
He shook his head?
I heard him say.
The prosecutor says, here...
Okay, here we go.
That was the last word I heard him say.
That I ever heard him say.
The prosecutor says, here is a woman who was depressed, gained weight, postpartum depression, behind in the mortgage, financially strapped.
I was a normal person just like anybody else.
A normal person.
Normal mother that has
A normal mother.
normal, just
Normal. 4 times normal.
normal like everybody else. Doesn't go to sleep. And all of a sudden just snap and become a psychotic maniac killer. And all of a sudden just snap and become a psychotic maniac killer.
She's as cold-blooded as any person I have ever talked to, and I've spoke to a lot of cold-blooded people.
Bill Parker, a veteran interrogator who tried without success to get a confession out of Darley. He insists she did say repeatedly,
if I did it, I don't remember.
So she said, if I did it, I don't remember. Yeah. That's OJ talk right there, people. But anyways.
He did apparently say during that interview with the policeman that if I did it, I can't remember.
No, I did not. I never said that.
Psychopathic. Person with absolutely no shame, no guilt, no remorse, no human compassion.
If I had done this to my children, I would be
If I had done this to my children, I would.
The first person to stand up and say, oh my God, I need help.
Yeah.
What have I done? A mother couldn't live with herself.
But now, Darley, they're saying that you could live with it because you're a psycho.
I need help. What have I done? A mother couldn't live with her.
I'm not a... One moment.
With absolutely no shame, no guilt, no remorse, no human compassion.
If I had done this to my children, I would be the first person to stand up and say, oh my God, I need help. What have I done? A mother couldn't live with herself.
But now, Darley, they're saying that you could live with it because you're a psychopath and that you could kill and not have a conscience
Sure, that
about
fits
it.
their theory. Happy birthday.
Look how happy she is there, a week after the murder of her sons, man. Look how upbeat she is, This was one of the first cases I ever learned about, by the way.
What really worked for the prosecution at the trial was this videotape of the party at the grave.
Yeah. That's a husband right there.
I asked Darlie to look at it again. Do you not say, as I do, oh, for heaven's sake, Darlie, chewing gum, smiling, spraying silly string, and the jury wanted to see it over and over again.
That's what convicted her, that video. The evidence was not enough for the jury. And the statements in the 911 call already are enough for me, needless to say. It's already enough for me. But the jury always wants more. And they want to be able to, they want you see, the thing is that, especially 30 years ago, people had a much harder time imagining a mother being able to do this. Of course, since then, we have seen several cases, and we are desensitized now. But that's when the jury said, you know what? I cannot imagine myself being this upbeat a week after my children were murdered. And that's when all of a sudden they changed and saw her in a different light. Oh, her husband failed a polygraph too? Wow. The whole what video? I forgot about all of that. It's been years since I looked into this case. But I believe at the very least the husband suspected her. And there were also statements from him that were really, really strange, to say the least. Yeah, I did. Earlier. I think it was the whole video. You mean what happened before she did the silly string? Long time ago, I saw the whole video. Oh, okay, let me look for that. Let me look for that whole video and see if it changes people's minds.
Some, this may seem a strange thing to do in an odd place and time. Singing happy birthday in the cemetery to a son who was brutally stabbed to death just over a week ago.
No, I can't hear.
But Darlie and Darren Routier say this is appropriate for them and their family. Helium balloons instead of headstones to remember Devin, who would have turned 7 today.
Yes, Grandel. Forensic files, yeah. Maybe I tune.
He and his 5-year-old brother Damon were stabbed to death, their mother wounded by someone she described as a white man wearing dark clothes. She was downstairs with the boys. Darren in an upstairs bedroom with infant.
I don't see the crying part. Let me see. It's a husband. I'll always look at the other side too. So if there's something else, sure.
That she was innocent and not guilty.
But Charlie says the jurors kept playing this tape and challenging his notion that an innocent woman could act this way.
She wasn't grieving, spraying the city string and gnawing on that thing gum.
What the jury didn't see was this surveillance video of Darlene. Police had secretly taped the gravesite for hours that day. There was weeping, praying, preaching.
Father made this day a birthday rejoicing.
There was Darlie's sister. The silly string was her idea. The dead boys had loved it.
I got you some snacks with some soy string, okay?
But this video was not okay. There were questions about its legality. And when the trial judge raised them, there was a heated argument in the courtroom.
The two police officers pled the Fifth Amendment.
Stephen Cooper is one of Darlie's new attorneys.
Okay, wait, I got a message. Okay, I get it. I'm going back to the video and to what is important right now because this case is ongoing. Thanks for the hint. I'm looking at the message right now, guys. Let me play this while I'm reading the message, okay?
Jack was out playing in the kitchen, I'm guessing, and they slid open the back sliding door. It's almost like silent to hear it slide open. So they slid it open. The boots were right beside the door. And just proceeded to, I'm guessing, play outside, and then they must have just got out to the back fence, and then they were gone. As soon as I seen that they were gone, I immediately jumped in the car, did all the dirt roads, did all the culverts, checked over the rivers, the streams. I did everything. I did anywhere the vehicle could take me, I did.
Yeah.
And as soon as I got back home, like 10 minutes later, I immediately went out on foot. So the officers got here.
And were you at the house when they arrived?
I was actually, when they were arriving, I was actually coming back to the house in the car. And I couldn't park in the driveway because RCMP just stopped in the yard, right?
Okay.
Because they were just starting to walk down and talk to Malaya. So what I did is I parked the white Nissan Pathfinder, because that's the car Malaya owns, the 2017 Nissan white Pathfinder. And I parked over on the right-hand side of the marsh, going toward Lansdowne Road. There's a marsh that's right beside the house there. Me and Jack are awesome kids, very, very kind. They'll talk to anyone. They want to go with anyone. They're just looking to have as much fun as they can.
Yeah, what clothing did Daniel wear when he was waist deep in water? That's a good question. Okay, I'm reading something. I'll play this at the same time.
They're both really go-lucky children. They're so sweet. They talk to anyone. They'll talk your ear off. They will speak to anyone in a store. Everyone.
Jack just absolutely loves bugs, dinosaurs, anything like that. But Lily loves girly things, but she also loves doing everything with Jack. Bugs, they're like best friends, not just brother and sister. And Jack just absolutely loves bugs, dinosaurs, anything like that. But Lily loves girly things, but she also loves doing everything with Jack. Bugs, they're like best friends, not just brother and sister. I mean, ever since the Friday morning, when we noticed that the children were gone, immediately jumped in the vehicle, surveyed all the areas, many dirt roads, many culverts as I could, and waited for the police to get there. As soon as I noticed they weren't there, I immediately jumped right in the vehicle and surveyed all the area, every dirt road, every culvert that I could find. As soon as I seen they were missing, I jumped right in the vehicle and I did every dirt road and searched every culvert. The very first day I wasn't around very much because I was just searching. I was running through the woods, screaming their name till my throat hurt. Even with me running through the woods, I was ahead of the helicopters and ahead of the drones and stuff like that. Screaming as loud as I can, and just until my throat hurt. Running through water that was up to my waist. And as soon as I got back, I wasn't allowed back in the woods until a man dressed in a military outfit said I could go back into the woods. Hardly any evidence at all since the first day. It's mind-boggling that nothing else was found. It just blows my mind that there's absolutely nothing. They're holding out hope. I don't know why they didn't find anything from Jack's pull-up to her backpack or any of her belongings at all. They just haven't found anything. The main feelings of sadness have just turned to anger because there's no evidence as of after 1 month.
So are you thinking that the dogs will go in there and won't find anything?
I know for 100% they won't find anything. I mean, that's probably why they waited this long to do it.
Is there any piece of you that's preparing for the fact, like, what if they do find something?
No, because I didn't do anything. I know Malaya didn't do anything. I know my mother didn't do anything. Those are 3 people on the property. I mean, after the polygraph exams, they should have known right there. We didn't kill any of the kids, or we didn't kill the kids.
Well, when they took the dogs, like, inside the house, they ran from one side of the house to the other, waiting for the dogs to, bark or pick up a scent, and nothing was located. Same with all the property. There was no indication of anything. I just want to clear it up for everyone. Clear it up for everyone, not just the people online making crazy accusations and everything else.
Okay, one moment, guys. One moment. I have to turn sound off for 1 second. I'm reading your comment while okay, so what case are you thinking about C legal? What are you interested in right now? And I agree with you. We need to get we need to focus on things that we can get into right now. Melody Buzzard. Okay, let me switch.
That it's necessary, but we've seen that here.
I'm being
Whose channel is good for that? Melody Buzzard. Does can you send me a video that you like?
We get it.
Vanished under troubling circumstances. School officials flagged her absence last week.
You want to look at Clutched and Pearls? That one? Let me check what people pay attention to. Okay. New info is coming out today. Let me check. Let me check, guys.
You're not going to patient. I apologize for being...
It's too much blah blah for me. Let me go right here.
After she failed to enroll in her independent study program and hadn't been seen in months. Deputies visited the Mars Avenue home and found only her mother, Ashley Buzzard, who offered no explanation for Melody's disappearance.
Please do that, because if I see an hour long, I don't know where to start. I need the exact timestamp. And then we can, yeah, I want to make sure You see, I'm not going to just repeat what other people do. If anything, if I find an interesting interview, I want to at least make it easier for people to get straight to the parts that are the most interesting. An article or a video, if you have a video that you think is going to give people a good introduction into a case without too much opinion attached, that would also be wonderful. Anything that can give people a good idea of what exactly the case is about. Missing California girl seen in security image potentially wearing wig. Hide identity. That's the newest, I guess. New images released by the Santa Barbara County Sheriff's Office on Friday shows a girl who is believed to be missing 9-year-old Melody Buzzard wearing a wig at a car rental business prior to leaving the state with her mother. Okay, so that would be a very, very significant deal. Why would you want to hide your daughter's identity? Rent a car. Does she have a car? Or doesn't she have a car? Does she have a car and doesn't want that one to be used for what she's planning to do? Leaving the state also, what's the purpose? The security camera images are the first new pictures of Melody seen in more than 2 years? In more than 2 years, and adds another detail to law enforcement's timeline in the days leading up to her being reported as an at-risk missing person. According to the sheriff's office, Melody and her mother, Ashley Buzzard, are there any statements from her? Rented a car and departed on a cross country on October 7. So nobody in 2 years taken new pictures of her? The mother hasn't taken any pictures of her child? Okay, she had no car, got it. She tried to rent a car, but they wouldn't approve her. Okay, understand. Is there anything from Ashley that we should pay attention to? Anything? Photos taken from inside a local car rental business shows the girl, who is assumed to be Melody, wearing a gray sweatshirt with her hood up, covering a head full of straight black hair. Investigators believe the girl is wearing a wig, potentially to conceal her identity, as previous images show Melody with brown curly hair. Ashley Buzzard, officials added, had been known to regularly wear wigs. Has been known. To the mother, okay, maybe one of her wigs then. The rental vehicle, the white, blah, 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 blah. So Ashley returned to the family's home on October 10 without her daughter. Got it. On October 7, rented a car and departed. Okay? October 7. Then October 10, she returns without her daughter. So we know the timeline we need to look at. October 7 to 10, the rental car has since been returned to the same rental company. Melody was reported missing days later. On October 14, and her mother has purportedly not cooperated with the investigation and has not provided an explanation or a satisfactory answer for her daughter's whereabouts or conditions. So, yes, no doubt between October 7 and October 10 it took place. After returning, she waited 4 days. So she pretended the daughter was still around. She didn't want that trip to be looked at. It happened on that trip, whatever happened. So she waited 4 days, similar to Emmanuel Harrow, who had been missing for a long time. And they had to figure out, how are we going to deal with that? How do we explain this? The absence of our son. Same with her, right? So the father died in 2016. I only have secondhand statements, which I will send later. I'm slower than others. Don't worry about it. Are there statements from the mother? I'm new to this case, people. Oh, send me a statement from the mother, please. See legal. If you have any statement from the mother. Thank you so much. Whenever in cases like this, you see statements from the mother or the parent or the person last to have seen a missing person alive, those are the statements I need. I need them to either clear the person or recognize the need to look deeper into that person. I didn't know either that she spoke. I looked for it before. Okay, let me just go and see if I can I always want to make very sure that whatever I look at to learn about a case is unbiased and only gives me the facts that I really need to know. So I can look at that too. If you send me that and an introduction video, but a good one, you know, this, of course, is very alarming right here. So I know the trip, you know, this sounds like premeditation to me also. This sounds like premeditation, that you use the wig to disguise her. Then you rent a car and you return without her. This is highly alarming, people. And this is what I like, when I have certain facts and I already know what makes no sense and already what sticks out here, what we need to focus on. So the day after she was reported missing, which was October 14, the mother is not cooperating. That immediately, I mean, you expect when your child is missing, you expect too much cooperation, right? You expect the person to say, please focus on my daughter right now. Focus, focus, focus. Even when police says, we're working on it, don't worry, we let you know. No, it's not good enough. Yeah, if that's all you have, that would be great. That'd be great. The school called in to say she wasn't attending for a while. She was homeschooled and hadn't checked in for a while. The school still had some independent studies where she had to check in. Well, there's a possibility. I mean, what did she look like in that video with the wig? Did she look like she was hurt? Did she look like, had there been abuse going on? Oftentimes, before disappearance, there's already evidence of some abuse. And when they don't want the children to be in school and nobody's seen them, maybe they were, they wanted to hide what had been going on at home. There's that possibility always. And it needs to be noted. When they hide a child, that's what I said about Jack and Lilly as well, guys. The absence from school. Wait, I've got something right here. Okay, give me a second. Getting some emails here. She had not been seen for 2 weeks. Okay, I guess this.
As we're tracking for you this hour, operations resuming at Alaska Airlines after a significant IT outage causing an 8-hour system-wide ground stop for both Alaska and Horizon, leaving a lot of frustrated travelers stranded for hours. The exact details on what caused the outage are still unclear, but it's now the second time this year Alaska has had to issue a ground stop because of an IT problem. The airline is telling passengers to Nike and New Balance sneakers. And talk about a sweet and daring, making the rescue almost impossible as she clung to the top branches.
Never mind.
The expert climber got to the very top.
For more than 2 weeks, she has not been seen. So that means that even before the trip, something has likely been going on. Maybe she was being abused. She was homeschooled for at least the last few years. Okay, I'm watching now. One moment. I'm almost there. Oh my God, this is it? New images and timeline shared in missing Melody Buzzard case. 9 years old. This just came out, right? A small development in the case of Melody Buzzard happened Friday. So this is from the rental car place. As it was revealed that Melody's mother Ashley rented a white Chevy. Okay, New surveillance images captured Melody at a local car rental business on October 7th, wearing a hooded sweatshirt and likely a wig that is darker and straighter than her natural hair. According to the Santa Barbara County Sheriff's Office, detectives believe the wig may have been used to alter her appearance. So she's been, let me look at this picture. Give me a second. I want to make it bigger. I want to see a little bit more. The fact that for 2 weeks she was not, she was hidden for 2 weeks prior, from what I understand right now, that's a huge flag already, guys. That something had been going on out of the norm that eventually led to the disappearance. And I don't know, in these cases, was she abused? Did something happen that the mother didn't want her to speak about to anybody? That's a very strong possibility too. Highly possible. Highly possible. You see, whenever something happens that's out of the norm, look out for anything that's also out of the norm. And we always want to look for the possibility of an escalation of a problem that had been ongoing and is accelerating, if you will. So this is the image of her at the car rental place.
I was shaking and tearing up a little.
Give me a second. Is it what Good Morning America?
Hour operations resuming at Alaska Airlines after a significant.
No, that's not it.
Florida taking. Well, the cat managed to get hired. Well, she's now back.
Don't care about this damn cat.
Back into her owner's arms, as you can see. They had a very sweet reunion.
But you see, yeah, definitely altered appearance. Wow. Okay, I'm gonna check my, wait a minute. Let's make it bigger. Yeah, something's been going on before October 7th. This has been, I don't know. In this case, man, when for a long time nobody sees them, even if they're around and they're being hidden from the public, that can definitely indicate an escalation of abuse, where they don't want the child either to be seen with maybe some marks, some evidence of abuse, or they don't want the child to be out there and talk about something that has been going on. So if she's been missing for 2 weeks or hadn't been seen for 2 weeks, and all of a sudden the mom decides to take a trip on the 7th, and this is also very important, the timeline from the 7th to the 10th. So how far did she drive? That's a day and a half one way and a day and a half back. So that's going to be helpful also. But these days, I mean, I expect this case to be solved pretty quickly because there are cameras everywhere, surveillance is everywhere. Interview with paternal grandmother, do you have that? Ah, I got it now. Okay, good. Let me see. Okay, so quotes from Ashley, from Elizabeth Messer, Melody's aunt, regarding Ashley speaking to Katrina. Ashley buzzed Melody's mother, answered the door for Katrina, who is Melody's much older half-sister on her late dad's side. Katrina asked, "Where is Melody? Is she okay?" And Ashley supposedly said, "Why now? Why now?" Katrina said, "We couldn't get a hold of you. We had no address, no phone number." Ashley said, "Well, there's a reason for that." Katrina asked, "Is Melody okay? Are you okay? I hope you and your kids are well." Then Ashley shut the door and hasn't spoken to anyone else. Yeah, to call this avoidance would be an understatement, guys. Okay, while I'm waiting, I'm going back to the video of Daniel.
People, all the rumors and accusations about us murdering the kid and burying them on the property, this place has been searched thoroughly. The well has been checked, the septic tank, all the barns were searched. My RV was searched 3 times. The trailer was searched. This whole place was searched.
Focus on what has been searched and no desire to figure out what hasn't been searched. Encouraging people, discouraging any search. But you know what, guys? I think I'll be back, and I will spend some time reading up on Melody. And yeah, I will see you soon, people. Thank you so much. Let me listen a little bit more.
If they want to come back and search again, more than welcome.
I would just like to see maybe the social media speculation theories and accusations, maybe they're not going to stop, but slow down. Because
why bother now is right. Why bother now? It's all been searched. Give it up. Show is over. They can't be found. You won't find them. The show is over. That's exactly the message she's trying to send here. The show is over. Okay, goodbye, people. I'll be back soon.